Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. Time is 2:10 p.m. Very cold Jersey time. Once again, I'm down at the waterfront. I'm over here in Bayshore Waterfront Park, which is located in the Port Monmouth section of Middletown Township. I can see New York City, the Verrazano Bridge very clearly. I have Earl Naval Base Pier right off to my right there. But don't tell them I'm out here with a camera. They might send the police after me. Okay, well, just when you think the cops can't sink any lower in their depravity that they perpetrate against citizens, a story has been brought to my attention by a friend of mine, Pete. So shout out to Pete. And also, I think Ronnie Eaton also sent it to me, but Pete gets the credit for this one. So this actually occurred about 2 years ago, but there's been an update on it. And it's just disgusting, the level of inhumanity with some of these police officers. And it's no longer an isolated incident by the old meaning of isolated. These are now a common occurrences of disgusting things that these bad cops, these psychopaths, perpetrate on citizens who have done nothing to them, no less. So this is reported on the San Antonio Current, which can be reached at sacurrent.com. And this one is dated Monday, December 12, 2022. And I'll also post the original story came out 2 years ago, so if you want to read that too, you can. So anyway, it reads as follows. San Antonio's shit sandwich cop working as a police officer again, this time in Floresville. Now, just give you a quick, I'm sure they're going to tell you in the story here, but just a quick idea of what's going on here. This cop got caught a couple years ago giving a sandwich with dog shit in it to a homeless person. So you got a homeless person already down on their luck. Life is not fun, and he thinks it's funny. He's going to just get his jollies by making this poor man's life more miserable and uncomfortable as it is. You think the nice police officer is going to give you something to eat, and it turns out it's a dog shit sandwich. So anyway, he got fired, and then he appealed it, and a third party somehow, he got his job back, and then he got caught doing something else. He put some dog shit, he smeared dog shit on a woman's toilet seat. This guy's got a real fetish for dog shit. So anyway, so San Antonio's shit sandwich cop working as a police officer again, this time in Floresville. And here's the headline. Take a good look at that hero. And by the way, you bootlickers, you blue goo gobblers, you back the blue, support the blue people out there. I love to hear how you're going to rationalize this one. How do you blame the homeless person for getting a dog shit sandwich, okay? He wasn't under arrest. He wasn't anything. So let's hear. I'd love for you bootlickers to chime in, please. I'm begging you. And you so-called cops, the good cops out there who don't like this stuff, and I know you follow my channel. You're half my view. You're half the subscribers that I got. I'd love to hear from you, too. Tell me all about it. Yeah, shake your head. Shake your head as you do nothing and say nothing about it. All right, let's find out what this depraved human being's been up to. Oh, first let me get the glasses. My eyesight is going. I get to the point I can't read these letters anymore. Matthew Luckhurst, the now former San Antonio police officer who drew international outrage for trying to give a sandwich filled with dog shit to a homeless man, is now once again working as a cop. In the investigation looking at how lax and fragmented state oversight enables problem officers to seek jobs at other departments, the Daily revealed that Luckhurst was hired as a reserve officer in the Floresville Police Department 5 months after he was last terminated from the San Antonio Police Department. Well, nothing to do with the state. This is how the Blue Line Gang operates. And I'd like to know who the chief was that said that this guy here is a great guy. We should hire him. Or is the police department so desperate they have to get psychopaths like this? Mean-spirited ones, I might add. It's unclear how Luckhurst's current job duties differ from those of regular cops in Floresville, a town of 30 minutes a town 30 minutes southeast of San Antonio, says neither the department nor the officer himself responded to the paper's inquiries. But don't worry, we'll make it a point to spread the word that he's now working at Floresville, and I would encourage everybody to go to Floresville Police Department's Facebook page. If they have one, I'll go look it up, and we'll find their Facebook account. If they got it, we'll post a link. And we go there and we can just express ourselves. Don't let these blue turds have a place to hide, these blue cockroaches. We got to shine a light on and make their lives miserable. Even so, a position as a reserve cop in Texas allowed Luckhurst the same legal authority as any law enforcement officer, according to Express News. I'm assuming as a reserve officer that when they have special events going on, that they'll call him up. Somebody calls out sick and they need somebody to bring him in because it's cheaper than paying overtime. So trust me, it's my opinion, he's still in the saddle. He's not sitting on the sidelines waiting for the phone to ring. In case anyone needs a refresher, Luckhurst drew international headlines after he gave a homeless man feces sandwich. San Antonio PD fired Luckhurst, sent a bike officer over the incident. However, a third-party arbitrator returned him to the force 3 years later. Now, I want to know who's friends with this guy. Would you be friends with somebody you know who gave a homeless person a dog shit sandwich? You'd have to ask yourself, what kind of person is this? This is not funny. There's nothing funny about it. That man, if he'd bitten into that and ate it and got some of that bacteria in his mouth, the guy could get seriously ill, and then he has to go to the hospital. And guess who flips the bill for that? Because he's homeless and he probably has no insurance. In 2020, an arbitrator upheld the second firing. Even so, the incidents were an embarrassment for SAPD and bolstered activist demands that San Antonio revise its police contract to give arbitrators less power, something City Council ultimately did. They should also stop signing off on these police contracts. And, if the police don't work, fine, don't work. We'll go hire temporary guys. By some estimate, 2/3 of fired SA cops were allowed to return to their jobs under the old union contract arbitration clause. The Express News investigation of fired officers' ability to find new work in other cities draws heavily on a recent study by Texas Sunset Advisory Commission. The commission examined the effectiveness of the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, the agency oversees licensing of police and jailers. Okay. All right, I'm going to grab the other story, and I'll be right back. The original story, and we'll get a little more in-depth information about this. Okay. I probably should have done this one first. But anyway, I didn't realize the other one was that short of a story. So this came out on June 19, 2020, and this was reported on KSAT.com, and it reads as follows. San Antonio police officer who gave homeless man a feces sandwich won't return to the force, allowing arbitrator's decision. And here's this story here, right there, and there's his ugly mug. All right, let's find out what else is in here. A San Antonio Police Department officer admitted to giving a homeless man feces sandwich will not return to the force after a third-party arbitrator on Friday refused to overturn his indefinite suspension for an unrelated feces. So here, again, you're on your job. You're operating your official capacity. All right, suppose, let's give an example. I'll be the example. So I'm working at the funeral home, and somebody says, oh, you got some water for it? You got a bottle of water or something? Yeah, sure. Let me go downstairs. And I go and I piss in the bottle and give them the bottle. And then they find out. You think my boss would say, hey, John, you can't do that. That's not good. There'd be no discussion. I'd be fired. So, here's a guy operating his official capacity. And he's giving something to somebody who could have cause a serious medical problem. And looks like they try to fire him, and then he gets his job back. I mean, what contract? You know what I'm saying, people. This is the problem, and this is one of the many problems in law enforcement, is that you can't get rid of these turds, where these unions are real strong. They refuse to overturn his indemnity. Officer Matthew Luckhurst was terminated in 2016 after the department investigating determined that he placed feces. This happened in 2016. Placed feces in between slices of bread and gave it to a homeless man downtown while Luckhurst was on duty. I bet he thought that was awful funny, huh? The officer was later given a second indefinite suspension after a separate investigation found that he failed to flush feces in a toilet and then spread a brown tapioca-like substance on a seat at downtown Bike Patrol headquarters. So this guy's a real jokester, isn't he? Just the kind of person out there that you want protecting and serving you. Isn't that right, bootlickers? Is that what you think they do? You think they're all out there protecting you and keeping you safe? Well, how much was was he doing? Luckhurst won his appeal for the feces sandwich incident in March 20. How can you win something like that? He admitted to it. He admitted to giving dog shit sandwich to a homeless man, and somebody said, yeah, that's a good idea. Give him the job back. Just what we want. Won his appeal for the feces sandwich incident in March 2019 after his legal representation was able to capitalize on a section of the local government code that prevents law enforcement agents from disciplining an officer for conduct that occurred outside a 180-day window. So it was a technicality, got his job back. But nonetheless, he did it on the job. What's it matter what time you came after him? It's such bullshit. This is such bullshit that goes on in law enforcement. And where's all the good cops in San Antonio? Did any of the good cops rise up and say, look, we don't want this guy working with us? No, of course not, because they're all gang members and they all stick up for one another. And I don't believe in any more of these good cops, because there's no such thing as an employed good cop. A good cop is unemployed. The arbitrator assigned to the toilet incident appeal, however, felt that SAPD Chief William McManus was justified in terminating Luckhurst because of the egregious nature of Luckhurst. So at least the chief was doing the right thing. Conduct aimed at women, according to a city press release announcing the decision Friday evening. So he's got an issue with women. A surprise, surprise. What bad cop doesn't have an issue with women? And then, it's just disgusting, people. This individual clearly has no business wearing an SAPD uniform. It should never have been this hard to fire him. You're absolutely right, City Manager Eric Walsh. But who signed off on the contracts? I am pleased that this is behind us, but the contract provisions that gave him more chances than he deserved remain an obstacle to the chief's ability to discipline officers who failed to live up to SAPD standards. Well, you know what you do? When that guy gets his job back, you put him on desk duty. You sit him in a room, an empty room, and you say, okay, there you go. And then you give him a pad or something, or a chalkboard, and say, and you have me like, you know, when you're in school and you screwed up and the teacher would have you write something 10,000 times, I will not do this. So put him in a room and say, all right, here's a pen, here's a paper, and you're going to write 10,000, we're going to give him a sheet of 1,000 papers. You say, all right, you're going to fill the front and the back. I will not give homeless people dog shit. You just make his life miserable. That's how you treat him like you would do a good cop who shows integrity and exposes a bad cop. You know, they run him out of the job. They make his life miserable. The individual clears no business wearing blah, blah, blah. I am pleased that this is behind us, but the contract provision gave him more chances. Let's see what else here. Officials with the city and San Antonio Police Officers Association are expected to begin negotiations on a new collective bargaining agreement early next year. Protesters in San Antonio in recent weeks following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis police custody have called on the city to reform or even defund its police department. Luckhurst's arbitration took place over several days early this year. Attorney Ben Cifuentes argued that terminating Luckhurst for the prank was extreme. No, it's not extreme. It's appropriate, and it sends a message to the rest of the blue turds out there. If you're going to do crap like this, you're going to be without a job. These goddamn cops need to be treated like anybody else on a job. If any one of you, me, or anybody else did something like that, you'd be done. You'd be out of a job. And then when you go to apply for the new job, they're going to say, what did you do? And they're going to call the employer and say, well, he's terminated because he put dog feces on a sandwich and gave it to somebody. For the prank was streamed and that a 2016 suspension of an SAPD officer harassment of a female police officer was suitable baseline for his case. Blah, blah, blah. So they're pointing to one person's bad behavior to justify his bad behavior. So anyway, there you go. Another depraved police officer being protected by the union. This is the union protecting him, by the way. A union contract and the town town fathers who sign off on this crap. You know, I'd say enough already. You don't want to show up for work, fine, don't show up at work. You don't want this contract, there's plenty of people out there, we'll pay them well, and they can come on and be a police officer, and they can work without a contract. How about that? Screw these cops, man. Screw all these bad cops, which is pretty much all of them in my opinion. Yeah, there's a few out there, they seem all right, but, you know, as I've always said, good people can do bad things and bad people can do good things. The question is, how much of each are they doing? I'm John Van Dyke from New Jersey Exposed. Put the link in the description. Let me know what you think about this one here. This is disgusting. It's just one of many disgusting stories that I can have done and will continue to do. Till next time, people.
Were you born an asshole, or did you work at it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole tonight. Yes, you're an A-S-S-H-O-L-E, and don't you try to blame it on me. You deserve all the credit